Recently, I did a very crude study, and I suspect you will pick holes in my conclusion, but a very crude study into the average age of the Sahaba at the time of the Prophet ﷺ.
Okay.
So I tried to find maybe 40, 50 Sahaba and their ages or their rough ages, and I put it into chat GTP
Okay.
and came up with an average. And the average surprised me, it was early 20s. I'm not sure how accurate. It was obviously not a scholarly study, but I was trying to understand. And that really surprised me that around the Prophet ﷺ, these were young men and women. These were not elderly people. The elderly were the aberrations, possibly, rather than the norm. I suppose my question here is that...
Let me comment
Please.
on this.
Yeah.
I did the same study, but not with ChatGPT because of my research on Seerah.
Yes.
No, I would say it's younger than that.
Really?
Yes. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, most of the companions were under 20.
Subhanallah.
You talk about Talha, Zubair, and they were 16, 17. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas was 18.
Yeah.
You talk about, the eldest among them
Yes.
was Abu Bakr, who was 38.
Yeah.
But the next one would be Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, and he was 28. And the rest were younger than that, younger than 20. So if you take the whole average, it would be close to 20 or even less than that.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a nice study. And there are, this study has been done by some of Muslim historians.
Right.
And they ended with this statement, which is a famous statement. أصحاب محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم كانوا شباب.
Really?
All of, this is the second, the companions of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم were young. So,
That's amazing.
so our hope is in the young generation, inshallah.
And so what amazed me was with that context, within 13 years of Makkah and 10 years of Medina, these were the same people who were ambassadors and military generals and statesmen and governors of communities. So something the Prophet ﷺ did in Mecca to these very young shabab, really young Sahaba, turned them into international statesmen and people of quality. Talk to that, please. What is it that the Prophet ﷺ did, and was it deliberate?
First of all, not all of them became.
No.
Okay?
Yeah.
Small statistics on this.
Yes.
When the Prophet ﷺ made Hajj, which is 4 months before his death,
Yeah.
sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, those who made Hajj with him were 114,000.
Really?
And these are not all the Muslims, of course. These were those who made Hajj. Now, statistically, we have collected all the names of the Sahaba mentioned anywhere, in Seerah, in books of Hadith, even the Hadith that is not accepted. And the total number that of all Sahaba that we know anything about, and some of them we know only their names, is 2,500.
Yeah.
So not all Sahaba became leaders and so on. Now, let's talk those who were in Mecca.
Yes.
First of all, their number was very little. In the 13 years, those who accepted Islam were 150, and 83 in Habasha, in Ethiopia. So maximum the historians talk about is 300. So you take 300 people, and you train them daily for 13 years by the best trainer in history. So what do you expect? Now the rules and the laws and so on, that came later on.
Yes.
But 13 years, what were they doing? What, I mean, there is no Hajj, there is no Siyam, there is no Zakat, there is no rulings. Yeah. There were two things only. Faith and ethics. It was the whole thing. So he taught them that well. And they were very ethical, very faithful.
Assalamu alaikum. I need your help. Our videos are currently being suppressed on this platform, which means they're not appearing as frequently as they used to. In fact, over the past 2 months, there's been a significant drop in impressions. Now, experts tell us this is due to a proactive decision. To resolve this, I need you all to subscribe to this channel. Over 60% of our regular viewers are still not subscribers. And, crucially, please click on the bell notification so you don't miss any future episodes. My commitment to you is that I will continue to provide free, thought-provoking content, but I need you to spread the word, comment, and keep an eye out for our shows. Jazakallah khair.
When Ja'far talks with a Najashi, he said, tell me about your deen. So he talks about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet and ethics.
Yes.
So that is short. And there's nothing much to teach.
Yeah.
What did they spend the rest of their time? They spent it with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not learning, but watching.
Right.
Watching. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was trained to be a leader, by the way. Many people don't know that.
Yeah.
The best way to train leaders, the best way, is from young age to make them in touch with leaders. And to make them watch what leaders do and how do leaders talk. That is the best way. So I'll tell you a little story. The Prophet ﷺ, between the age of 6 and 8, lived with his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib. Now, Abdul Muttalib was the leader of Makkah, which was the leader of all the Arabs. After Abdul Muttalib, there was a dispute who will lead Makkah, and they did not agree. But at the time of Abdul Muttalib, he was the one. So he was leading Makkah. He had 10 children, 10 boys, 6 girls. The 10 boys, one of them died, which was the father of the Prophet ﷺ, so 9. So they made a custom that at that time there was no masjid. That's just Al-Kaaba and an empty space around it. Quraysh, and by the way, we did this when we were young because it's so hot and there is no air conditioning and so on. So we wait until before Maghrib.
Yeah.
And then we put some rugs in the street and we sit and we just throw some water around us to cool down. So the Meccans did that. And each tribe or sub-tribe would put their own rug. So the children of Abdul Muttalib made a law that nobody sits before Abdul Muttalib sit.
Right.
Okay? So they were standing, 9 of them were standing around his rug, around his carpet. And the whole of Quraysh would stand, waiting for him to come and sit.
Yes.
The Prophet ﷺ was sneaking and sitting on that carpet. So they would pull him. And every day he would sneak and sit on the carpet. And his uncles would pull him.
Yes.
Until one day, Abdul Muttalib saw them. So he came and asked, why are you pulling him out?
Yeah.
What's going on? So they said, we don't allow anyone to sit before you. And this boy wants to sit before you. So he said, let him sit. My son is a leader, and one day he would have an effect on all of the world.
Really?
This is the words of Abdul Muttalib. Huh?
Yes.
So what happened after that? He used to sit on the carpet of Abdul Muttalib every day. Who would come to Abdul Muttalib? Not only leaders of Arab tribes, but also delegates from Rome and from Persia and from Habasha. This is the leader of all the Arabs. Huh? So whatever they need from Arabia, they would discuss it with Abdul Muttalib. The Prophet ﷺ was trained daily by the master of Arabia on how to lead. So this is just an example of leadership.
Briefly, what made Abdul Muttalib the master of Arabia?
It was agreed by the Arabs, since they were idol worshippers, to take one of the idols they worship. Every tribe worship several gods. So they take one of their gods and put it inside Kaaba or around Kaaba. So inside and or around Kaaba, there were 360 idols.
Right.
And they made an agreement with Quraysh. This is far before Abdul Muttalib, that we will protect you and protect your trade if you protect our gods.
Right.
So with that, Quraysh was in charge of all the idols that all the Arabs worshipped and got the protection. So that made them very honorable for all the Arabs. So that is why they considered, so they did not lead in the sense that they can give them orders, but they led in the sense that this is the honor that you are the chair of the Arabs, although you don't have power to say what they do.
Please remember to subscribe to our social media and YouTube channels and head over to our website thinkingmuslim.com to sign up to my weekly newsletter. Jazakallah khair.